Hey everyone, we're back with another tutorial in our definitive FPS kit series. Today we're going to cover how to set up attachments, specifically how they will affect our weapon. So let's get started. As we saw in the previous episode, we created two blueprints, SR Tomb Vresk BP, which is the player's weapon, and SR Tomb Vresk Pickup, which is mainly used in the Gunsmith menu and for equipping the weapon by picking it up in the map. We'll configure both, but essentially, what we do in one will also apply to the other. So, to start things off, let's begin by editing the player's weapon. Here we have the full logic setup. This system contains everything we need to modify the weapon's properties based on the attachments available for it. But now, let's go through the step-by-step process to configure everything properly.
Alright, with the blueprint open, this is what you'll see. Basically, everything is empty. Since this is a child blueprint, all the core logic is handled in the parent blueprint. So the first thing you need to do is override the function called update attach. Once that's done, we can start building all the logic for modifications based on the attachments equipped on the weapon. If any of the modifications shown here don't match what you need, feel free to check out the other weapons as examples to help guide your own logic. It all starts with a sequence node since we have a few parts of the weapon to configure. Now, I'll show you the core of our logic. We have a variable and a couple of functions that I've already prepared in advance. Let's start with the variable setup_attach. This holds the entire list of attachments currently equipped on the weapon. It's a structured type, so it contains several variables. The ones we'll use the most are the component reference and the mesh. Then we have two almost identical functions. The difference is that one gets the attachments from the weapon's mesh and the other one uses the list. The list is only present in the player's weapon blueprint, so we'll use the function that reads from the list for the player weapon BP, and the one that searches through the weapon mesh for the pickup BP. Let's go ahead and configure the holographic sight for our weapon. This is one of the easiest setups. All you need to do is check if the weapon has any sight equipped, regardless of which one, and then call the setup lens function. It'll automatically handle all the necessary adjustments. Now the sight will be automatically aligned for any holographic optic equipped on the weapon. Don't forget, the socket name refers to the one you created earlier on the weapon mesh, indicating where each attachment should be placed on the weapon. Well, that's it. Now, every sight equipped on the weapon will be automatically adjusted. Another setup that's quite simple is adding lasers. Once again, the logic is the same as with other attachments. Check if the laser exists and is equipped, and if so, create the laser. Now we're finally going to create some real logic. The core principle remains the same, but not all attachments have pre-made functions, since there are so many possible behavior variations. A one-size-fits-all approach would end up causing more issues than helping. Let's start configuring the muzzle attachments. This includes flash hiders, suppressors, compensators, basically a wide range of possible types. We'll begin with the simplest way to set up a suppressor. In this method, we check if the equipped attachment matches a specific suppressor, and if it does, we change the weapon sound to the one you choose.
A more complete approach would be using an array, allowing you to define multiple attachments that should change the weapon sound. And this applies to other types of attachments as well. However, the logic for each attachment type still needs to exist separately. For example, if you're adding compensators that alter some weapon behavior, keep their logic inside the suppressor section or wherever.
Now let's take a look at one of the last pre-made nodes, and this one deserves special attention because it's one of the most powerful. It automatically modifies crucial aspects of the weapon, which would be extremely complex to handle manually, so I've set everything up for you. Here's how it works. At the top, you can add meshes. These meshes and the order in which you add them are key to understanding how this works. Let's say you change the weapon's magazine. That change affects several aspects of the weapon, such as animations, overall speed, ammo type, ammo capacity, and so on. This is where you define all that. For every attachment you add to the mesh list at the top, you should also create a corresponding entry for each weapon aspect that it will affect. One important note, if the attachment doesn't change a specific aspect, like animations, you can leave that entry empty, but still include it in the array so the order matches across all attachments. Well, with this, you can now create your own custom configurations. I tried to automate as much as possible, but I also prioritize flexibility. You never know. Maybe you want a vertical grip that gives the weapon more ammo, or a stock that changes the weapon's sound. You never know, and with pre-made functions, it can be a bit harder to tweak things exactly how you want. And remember, you don't have to build everything from scratch. You can copy the setup from another weapon and adapt it. Some parts barely change at all. Thanks everyone for watching. In part 2, I'll show you how to apply these changes to the Gunsmith menu. It's always a pleasure to help. See you all in the next videos.